Right, in this example, we have a simple animation. And if I go into the viewport render and I'm going to go to the rendered view, the question is now, how do we output? How do we export what we see? So we have a couple of choices. If I go up to the render menu, we can render image or render animation. And before I do that, on the right hand side, if I go here to like the little TV, this is the render properties. So these, I'm rendering Eevee. If you want something that's a little bit more photorealistic, Cycles is very good, but I'm on quite an old machine, so I'm going to stick to Eevee, it's faster. If I increase the sampling, viewport is the sampling that I see as I look here, but when I render, you see the number 64 is higher, so I'll get a better quality result if that's what I want. And I can also, which I have done, I've added ambient inclusion, bloom, and everything else I'll leave alone for the moment. Bloom means if I've got sort of lights, etc., they glow more, and ambient inclusion, which doesn't make much odds here, is like a shadow sort of thing. And you can expand these and change these if you so wish. But what I want to do is I'll click here on my output. So here's the format I want, which I'll leave alone. This is 1920 by 1080. Frame rate, I'll keep that at 24. And I have 60 frames, so I want to go from 1 to 60. That's fine. And where do I output to? So I will click on here and I will go to my desktop, and I've created, here we go, a folder, and I'll save it in there. And if I'm rendering an image or a set of still images, I'm going to choose PNG. But as you can see, you can choose quite a few options. So if I want a still image, and I'm going to zoom in just to make the camera view a bit bigger, number keypad 0, go. I'll go to render image, or on my keyboard it's F12. If you're on a laptop keyboard, you need to make sure your number keys at the top are set to like F1 to F12, not the sort of change the volume or something like that. Now, this is very, very simple. It rendered very, very quickly. As you can see here, it's the amount of time, just over a second. And this is the frame I'm rendering. If I save Blender and quit, it will not save the image. I have to go to the image menu and do save. And it's not finished yet. There we go. It's got a little bit more. So image menu, save, or let's do a save again. Here you go. And I'll go to my desktop, rendering out. And at the bottom, I can call it what I want. Simple animation. Return. That is now saved. If, however, I want an animation, then obviously what I could do is I could choose something like FFmpeg video. And encoding, I will change that to MP4, MPEG-4, the video coder H.264. Everything else should be fine. There's no audio, so that doesn't matter. And I'll do a quick save just in case it crashes. And I'll go to render and render animation. And now I'm going to see an animation, and it's going to render it frame by frame. And you can see here we've got 60 frames, so it's now starting the whole process. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze there and stop and wait for it to finish. Right, so we're back again, and now we've rendered 60 frames. So let's see what we've actually got. So if I go to the image menu, I can save and save as, so that tells me it's finished. And here's the total time, 60 frames. It was approximately 25 seconds a frame, and we've done a total of about 24 minutes here. So it's about sort of, half a minute a frame. So I'll close this down and I'll just hide Blender. And here is my folder, and here is my movie. And I'm on a Mac. I'll just click on it and I'll just press the space bar. And there's my movie. Nice, simple, straightforward. And that's how you render out to your output to MP4 if it's a video, if it's an animation. And I'll scroll up here. So remember, we're on the output tab here. I chose FFmpeg video, MP4, expand video H.264, and the defaults are fine, but if you want it better, you can do better quality, and you can change the speed and so on and so forth. And that's how you render out. Remember, if it's a frame, so I'll just click here to go to a frame, whichever one I want. I'll do a space again. So, as you can see, there's not much to see change-wise. It's just the camera. But when you render image, up this comes. See, last time it was just under 25 seconds. This time it's going through now. It won't save the image until you finish and go to image and save or save as. And can you see this is all grayed out now? So it's still rendering, as you can see the message there. There you go. See, it's finished. It took just under 23 seconds. Image. Now I can save what I want. If you just do your normal save, you're only saving the Blender file, not the render. I'll hide that, and here it is, and here's the movie, and that's how you render out in Blender.